It was a sunny Monday morning when Max, a seasoned landscaping contractor, pulled up to Mrs. Whitaker's sprawling suburban property. Known for her exacting standards, she had requested a complete backyard makeover. New pavers, flower beds, a koi pond, and a hedge maze. Max, ever the optimist, thought, how bad could it be? The first sign of trouble came during the initial consultation. Mrs. Whitaker handed Max a laminated, color-coded spreadsheet of her backyard vision. Each section was highlighted with phrases like, absolutely no red flowers, pavers must feel soft on bare feet, and pond water must be serenely blue at all times. Max chuckled nervously and said, we'll do our best, Mrs. Whitaker. Day one began smoothly enough, until her cat, Mr. Puffles, decided the freshly dug flower bed was a personal litter box. Mrs. Whitaker stormed out mid-dig. Max, this is unacceptable. Mr. Puffles has never been so insulted in his life. Max bit his tongue, nodded politely, and secretly vowed never to work with cats again. But by day 3, the hedge maze was taking shape. As Max's crew trimmed the bushes, Mrs. Whitaker stood nearby with a ruler. That hedge is 1.5 inches taller than the others. Start over, she declared. One worker muttered she should trim it herself, but Max waved him off, forcing a smile. The koi pond installation, however, was where things took a truly comedic turn. Mrs. Whitaker had ordered imported koi fish that, according to her, understood elegance. When Max filled the pond, she shrieked, this water isn't serenely blue, it's aggressively teal. Determined to fix it, Max dumped in a blue pond dye. Mrs. Whitaker gasped. Now it looks like a cartoon lagoon. And then there was the soft paver test. Mrs. Whitaker insisted on walking barefoot on every paver, critiquing each one. This one's too gritty, this one feels emotionally cold, she exclaimed. At one point, Mr. Puffles joined in, walking across the wet pavers and leaving tiny paw prints everywhere. Mrs. Whitaker proclaimed, that's actually adorable. Leave 'em. Leave 'em. By the final day, Max was running on caffeine and sheer willpower. But something unexpected happened. As Mrs. Whitaker surveyed the nearly finished yard, she sighed. You know, Max, I'm not always the easiest client. Max raised an eyebrow but said nothing. But this is beautiful. She even threw in a generous tip and insisted on referring him to her equally eccentric friends. As Max drove away, exhausted but triumphant, he laughed to himself. He'll miss Mr. Puffles, but not the ruler, he protested. It was the toughest job of his career, but Max couldn't deny the satisfaction of turning chaos into a masterpiece, even if the koi pond still looks slightly teal.
Follow and subscribe for more.